Thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. A recent graduate of the University of Vermont is $2,500 richer after taking top honors in the university's business pitch competition. The competition requires a student to pitch a detailed business plan to a panel of judges who act as investors. More than $8,000 in total prize money was handed out this spring. The competing students said the money was important, but even more valuable was the real-world experience of developing business planning and presentation skills. Across the Fence's Rebecca Gollin tells us more.
Vermont is a good place to be an entrepreneur, whether it's bottling beer, working on the farm, or selling wares from a traditional storefront. It's also a great place to be if you're learning how to become an entrepreneur.
I've been brewing beer for the past 3 years, and I've come to realize that it is an immense passion of mine, and I will be opening a microbrewery.
Venturing, or entrepreneurship, is very strong in Vermont and always has been.
Dave Kaufman teaches entrepreneurship in UVM's Rubenstein School of Environment and Natural Resources. But that's just one place for UVM students to learn about entrepreneurship.
Recognizing that need across the campus, it's important to have at least a couple of programs at the university that move students in that direction and enable them and move them forward so that they can create their own jobs, their own businesses. There's a specific program in the business school. There's a specific program in community development, applied economics, CDAE, and then as part of our Parks, Recreation, and Tourism program in Rubenstein, we have the entrepreneurship course. All right, Emily, how are you figuring out what to price your tours?
Well, each college has its own business curriculum. One thing is the same. Each offers a class where students spend the semester learning the finer points of entrepreneurship by creating an in-depth business plan.
You start off at day one, you choose a business plan. Day two, you write a mission statement, and then you just slowly build on from there. So it feels like you're only doing a page or two a night, but pretty soon you have a 20-page business plan.
I had the idea before I came into the class. I had the passion for brewing and for drinking high-quality beer. But this class itself has taught me a lot about basic financials, business planning, understanding pretty much what goes on in the real world.
Nick Kaufman is a CDAE minor. He's not sure if or when he would start his own business, but he knows he could.
I have a lot better understanding of how to go into a job interview, how to approach professionals, and I have a very, very complete business plan in order to present it to any potential customers in the future or to any potential employers.
Everybody can be an entrepreneur if we help people to see what's involved.
Kathleen Liang teaches community entrepreneurship in CDAE. A major focus in her classes is that there's a lot more to starting a successful business than just thinking about profits.
If you want to take the risk to put money in something you have passion about, but then what are the consequences? We have to help people to realize a dream is a good dream, but it can turn into a nightmare if you're not well prepared. That's usually my first sentence when I start a class.
Being in the community development instead of a business school, we're talking about sustainability, and it's not, the first goal isn't just profit. And I think that's the main part about the CDAE program. It's sustainability, integrating yourself in the community. If you're going to build a customer base, it will be starting out with the locals, trying to get their actual love for your business.
On this day, students from Kaufman and Liang's classes, as well as from the business school, have come together for an entrepreneurship competition. They're sharing the business plans they've been working on all semester and competing for cash prizes.
What did you have to do to get ready for this competition today?
Didn't sleep. I was actually up till 2 a.m. last night preparing my finances just so that they were lined up perfectly, that if they wanted to ask any question, I was ready and prepared for it.
As a Parks, Recreation, and Tourism major, Zach Palladino spends most of his time focusing on national parks. This is the first business class he's ever taken.
If you allowed yourself some starting money, include it in the first quarter because it's cash that you have available to use.
Income statements to your cash flows, and I didn't even know what those meant when I first started out, and just going page by page and like just line by line. Okay, this is what rent's going to cost, and this is what depreciation is and how much it's going to be for myself.
They have to do research. They have to understand what industry they're in. They have to understand if there's a market. They have to understand if that market is big enough, if it can be sustained, how to reach that market through a marketing plan. But ultimately, it comes down to how you're going to pay for it and are you going to make money.
Here's how it works. Trips are booked either online through our website or at our storefront. Clients will choose their desired activity, location, duration, group size, and their desired final product.
The students develop their business plans out of something they're passionate about. For Palladino, that is skydiving.
And I love to skydive, so I got off the ground with an idea to do some sort of skydiving industry or business that would tap into college kids.
After spending dozens of hours this semester developing his plan and crunching numbers, Palladino was pleasantly surprised by his results.
After whittling it down and getting actually hard numbers and investors, I figured out it's actually something that is feasible and could be done. And I think that was probably one of the coolest parts, from just going to this lofty idea of skydiving to, holy cow, if I wanted to, next year I could actually create this drop zone. So that was really cool.
It's an adventure, but it's a somewhat of a safe adventure. You're not going to get laid off by a big company if you own your own small business. You may go out of business, but at least you did it on your own. Somebody didn't force you. Somebody didn't give you that pink slip and say, sorry, you don't have a job tomorrow. That doesn't happen. And for the most part, a lot of small businesses fail, but quite honestly, small businesses fail more not because the concept was wrong, but because of lack of attention to detail, or they didn't keep their focus and tried to do too much, too fast, with too little.
Here in Vermont, you probably have a lot of opportunities in your backyard, but if we don't help people to explore them, people leave. And if we could get this momentum going and help students, help our own young people to see how they can create their own opportunities right here in this fabulous state.
Most of the students here today are planning to get some experience under their belts before venturing out on their own.
This class has definitely taught me a lot of the importance of making a good first impression and making sure that you are presenting yourself well and knowing that what you do and what you write will be seen by others, whether you think it will or not. So being sure that you're always in that good light regardless, and especially giving a pitch, everything is on that first appeal and being able to trim down what do I actually need to say versus what don't I need to say, and that can just go for everywhere in life. With my resume, with the jobs I'm going to, what do I need to actually tell them versus, they don't need to know my favorite color is green, but giving them the big broad topics of this is why I'm a good candidate for you. And I would say that is probably the most beneficial thing I'll take away from this class.
For the business, suspended time skydiving. Zachary Palladino, would you please come forward?
He'll also take a check that he's going to put towards some skydiving gear for winning the top prize in the competition. He won't be starting his business right away, but he's not ruling it out for the future.
Who knows, down the line, a couple of years from now, hopefully I'd be in a stable place with a stable job and could actually start working at a drop zone, and I would love to either take over it or start my own, definitely, because it is my passion in life.
It is still currently in the growth phase with a projected...
And after all, passion is the first step to a successful business. In Burlington, I'm Rebecca Gollin with Across the Fence.
A $100,000 gift from UVM alumnus David and Jessica Aronov supported the creation of the business pitch competition. The Aronov's gift will ensure that the competition can continue to grow in future years. When it comes to business planning, farmers are often tuning and tweaking to allow for expansion or diversification. Farmers often rely on their own resourcefulness, but it always helps to have an experienced set of eyes to look things over and let you know when you're on the right track. Across the Fence's Keith Silva was in East Hardwick to meet the teacher and the student.
Even on the hook, these pigs are in demand.
We do 5 farmers markets a week, and I cannot keep bacon and pork chops on the shelf. Grass farmer first, and then everything on top of that.
Ben Notterman and his parents, Helm and Nancy, run Snug Valley Farm in East Hardwick. The farm specializes in grass-fed beef and pastured pork. With the demand for local food continuing to increase, increase, Ben is looking to go whole hog, so to speak.
A lot of other markets, there's not a lot of good pastured. I mean, there's some very good stuff, but there's not enough. So I want to try to fill that void. This is a learning process, learn as I go, kind of some of it seat of the pants, but I'm learning.
For every farmer in the midst of an expansion, necessity is the mother of invention. It also helps if a nationally renowned swine specialist is in the area and stops by for a consultation.
I mean, a severe parasite infection would set you back months.
Yeah.
They wouldn't reach the market weights. They'd just be infected. And then the other reason is the animal suffering. And I don't think we obviously don't want that. And so,
Dale Roseboom is an extension professor at Michigan State. His visit to Vermont is sponsored by the University of Vermont Extension's Center for Sustainable Agriculture and NOFA Vermont, the Northeast Organic Farming Association.
in Vermont, there is potential, great potential, and not that Vermont's going to become a major hog producer. Nope, wrong place in the country. But can Vermont produce pigs? Surely, and it's a matter of determining each farmer how much they can contribute to that in the number of hogs, how they can do it so it's economically viable for them. What I see is farmers with some excellent animal skills. I mean, as far as taking care of them. I see concern for the health and the well-being of the animals, concern about talking about vaccination programs. Do I need something to deworm pigs, to maintain their health and their well-being? And I see farmers taking strides to learn and want to improve. I see farmers utilizing resources very well.
In addition to visits to several hog farms, Roseboom is giving lectures and holding workshops on swine management. His approach to agricultural management is clear-cut. Farm with what works best.
It's not that one system fits all. It's that each system finds out what works best for itself. And I think that's the fun part about being here in Vermont and working with Vermont farmers is given this set of resources, given this set of abilities and skills, and combining that with my other demands, I might be a dairy farmer too. How can I raise pigs and do it right? And I just enjoy, helping find solutions and for a given situation. No one situation has to be exactly the same, and it isn't oftentimes. It really depends. It comes back to this topic of what breed of pig you're working with.
Roseboom advises farmers on genetics, nutrition, and nutrient management. Another topic that gets special consideration is what Roseboom calls the community or social aspect of farming.
We're talking then about raising pigs that meet the consumer's desired attributes. And so we'll talk a lot about genetic programs. Is this the correct breeding program to produce the pig that we want to produce? And here again, every farmer has a different set of customers. Some might be restaurants, some might be the farmers' markets, some might then be selling directly to a CSA, and others might just be the consumers around them in their neighborhood. And so we're trying to then match nutrition, match genetics, and match the environment they have, the farm, to produce those pigs most effectively for them.
And then they know they've got a home for all of them, and everybody's happy.
Couldn't have said it better. I couldn't have said it better.
Roseboom likes what he sees at Snug Valley Farm, especially when it comes to Ben's vision for the farm's future.
Ben's thinking systematically. He's thinking about the whole process and how systematically he starts pigs, he feeds pigs, and then gets them to a desired weight for butchering. Man, he's thinking. It's just fun to be around people that are like him, that are thinking of not just tomorrow, but he's thinking 5, 20 years down the road. He's a young man with just a lot of enthusiasm, so it's just a joy.
This is stuff I would never have gotten to.
For Ben, the feeling is mutual.
This is huge. This is a resource that I would never have been able to get my hands on, or talk to Dale, or it's just something that was out of my reach before, and I think it's really great. It's going to help us a lot.
It's good information that'll help these farmers and these pigs get to market. In East Hardwick, I'm Keith Silva with Across the Fence.
Well, thanks, Keith. That's our program for today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Judy Simpson. I'll see you again next time on Across the Fence.